Hello and welcome, all you fine folks out on the internets. My name is Dan, and this is Nerd Champs. The channel where nerds get together and do what we do best. Argue about things that are impossible to quantify, can't possibly be checked, and don't really matter. Before we start, I want to tell all of you to go ahead and push all the buttons that do all the things. Then tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone you know. Hell, tell everybody you don't know about us. Then come back and watch the rest of the video. So what are we talking about, arguing about today? The meaning of life, the true nature of man. Who cares? We're talking X-Men. You know them, you love them, you grew up with them, but damn, there's a lot of them. So which one is the best? Let's find out. Today, from Piqua, Ohio, representing the M6P, he's all over the interwebs, we have Jarid.
Hey.
And from parts unknown, the people's champ. Yeah. Oh. All right. Jarid, 2 minutes. Make your case. Starting.
Storm is the best X-Men member ever. She never went through the resurrection protocols, and she deleted her backup, for goodness sakes. She's been more consistent as a member of the X-Men than anyone else, including Cyclops and Wolverine, only leaving for a brief time when she got married, and even then she still interacted with the X-Men. She's capable with and without her powers to lead the team. She even fought Cyclops without her powers to do so, won leadership. She's not defined by her powers as an X-woman. She can be on the team either way. She led the X-Men against the Inhumans when they were about to take over and kill all the mutants of the world. Magneto, Doom, Apocalypse, they all regard her as a peer. She commands respect and has the power to back it up. She forged her own group of X-Men to seek after the Destiny Diaries. She can rock any hairstyle and look good. Her power to host eternity. It wasn't just her power level that granted her access to host eternity itself, but her character that enabled her to do so. She stayed with Cyclops' extinction team to keep them in check, as all had formerly been villains. She led the X-Men when they faked their deaths and set up shop in the Australian outback. She can check a hoe when she needs to, and that's looking at you, Emma Frost. She's connected by friendship and respect to more X-Men than anyone else. Her relationships with Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean, Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Colossus, no member has closer ties than Storm does with each of them. She colonized Mars, led the X-Men to safety there. She was on the Quiet Council. She's what the X-Men are supposed to be about. She's black, she's female, she's mutant. She checks all the boxes for being persecuted, for being different. That is Storm right there. Her parents were killed when she was 5. She was literally being worshipped as a goddess, but was brought into Xavier's dream, and she bought into it as well. She left to go to America and risk her life on her first mission against Krakoa to save the original X-Men. She was the second leader of the X-Men after Cyclops left and has continued to hold that spot since. As Professor X said most recently in X-Men issue number 35, she's the best of us.
All right, man, right on time. Okay, so here we go. Tim, are you feeling okay? People's champ, are you okay? Are you ready?
I think we should have only given Jared a minute and a half. I don't know what you guys think. But,
I had more. I was watching the clock.
All right, here we go, everybody. Jared's gonna go sit in his corner for right now. And Tim, 2 minutes to rebut, starting now.
look, I like Storm. I like Storm a lot. Okay, Storm is a great character as far as the X-Men go. I feel like she's very integral in all of the stories. The one thing that I would just say is she the best? And if I have to choose Storm or the Field, I think that it only makes sense that I choose the Field. And the only reason I say that is because you got to, if you're going to consider yourself the best, you got to check a certain level of boxes, right? Best is a relative term. It's not necessarily one of those things that's just kind of that you just kind of throw out there and everybody knows exactly what it means, which is why there have to be multiple categories to it. It's just like this. If we're going to declare who's the best player in the NBA right now, we don't just base that off of one thing. We have to base it off of, how many championships have they won? Have they won the MVP award? Are they an all NBA defensive player? Are they a scoring champion? Are they a freak athlete that can do things that nobody else can do? These are the things that we determine it based on, right? So when I look at Storm and I look at the categories that we would look at for the X-Men, is she the most powerful of the X-Men? See, I don't think that she is. That probably belongs to Jean Grey and Charles Xavier. Is she the most popular? Clearly not. That's clearly Wolverine, which is why he's been in like a bajillion movies since the year 2000. When I know that she has led the X-Men before, when she's had some battlefield promotions, but for the most part, is she considered the leader of the X-Men? Not generally. I think, is she the strongest? Is she the fastest? Is she the smartest? These are all things that, she's sooner or later, if you're going to be the best, you got to check some of these boxes. And I just don't see Storm checking any of those boxes. Now, would I say that she is absolutely, one of the top X-Men? Absolutely. But I think that there are other people who probably meet that definition and check a few more of those boxes.
All right. Tim coming hard. But we're going to give Jared 1 minute to rebut. No interruptions. Hold on. Let's do this. All right. We're going to leave us on the screen. You can see our shocked faces. Jared, 1 minute starting now.
That was great, Tim, except you provide no alternatives to who is better. You just picked some categories and said, oh, this person's more popular. Oh, this person's more of a leader. Meh. But you didn't provide one singular person that was at the top of their game in all those categories, where Storm is probably a 2 or 3 in every category across the board, thus making her the best. Let's look at a couple more of her qualifications. Look at her dedication. She threw herself in front of a bullet to save Rogue in the comics and Magneto, of all people, in X-Men 97. Her presence as a mutant in the Marvel Universe. She's the most well-known. She's been the leader of the X-Men for many years, joined the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, coupled with being royalty when marrying Black Panther and running things on Mars. She's the most well-known X-Man in the Marvel Universe. Storm was able to balance being a queen and a member of the X-Men. Storm doesn't let her ego go either. Doesn't let her ego guide her. She keeps her emotions in check in order not to let her be affected.
That's a minute. That's a minute. Tim, are you ready?
Yeah, I got it.
No? All right. Let's wait. Okay. 1 minute starting now.
Okay, so basically, I did give you an alternative. The alternative is the Field. There are better X-Men than Storm, and that's kind of the whole point. All right, I can tell you, I believe if you want me to pick one, I'd tell you Rogue. Why? Because she can at any point be any one of the X-Men. Okay, and so she can be Storm anytime she wants to be Storm. Jared, that's pretty cool. So anyway, but basically, I mean, I don't really pick one. I say that there's a Field, and I think that she's probably down on the list, probably 3, 4, 5 on the list, somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay. And so can she be the best without being the best in any one of those categories that we mentioned before? That's the kind of stuff that we're kind of talking about here. So yeah, I think that there are other X-Men that are probably higher up on the list. That's just my personal opinion. I know that you share a different opinion, Jared. I know I've known you for long enough. Okay.
You're going to cede your time. You got 3 seconds. You had 3 seconds.
Nah, I'm good.
All right. We've heard the arguments. I've sat in judgment, and the system means nothing, and the points don't amount to much. But I'm going to give Jared 1,000 points for dedication, for just being really into it, for his real commitment there. I'm going to give Tim 1,000 points for the clever idea of taking the Field and having no dedication whatsoever. But I think, Tim, did you actually suggest that the white Southern woman should steal the power of the African American woman to enhance herself. Was that really? Did that Jared? Did that happen?
You heard that correctly.
I
Hashtag
did.
canceled.
I did. I
Hashtag
think.
canceled.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to deduct points on the X-Men episode for lack of cultural sensitivity. so that's going to knock you back 50 points.
All right.
And,
our free for all. We still got free for all. Remember, we got free for all.
okay. And so Tim, you're down. You're down 50 points going into the free for all. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're going to do a 5-minute free for all. Everybody can jump in. I think I'm going to let you guys go at it because this is great. Starting now.
All right.
When
Now,
you look
Jared.
at the power of Storm, you said that
Jared,
Jean is more
Jared,
powerful. Storm
Jared,
is no
you need to
mega
stop.
level mutant.
Jared,
Jean
Jared,
is also
you need
mega
to stop.
level, as
You
is
need to
Charles
tell
Xavier.
you need to be
So it's
honest with
Iceman.
everybody
But
about
Storm
why
is
you.
a mega
Jared,
level mutant. That's
Jared,
what she
listen.
can do, literally.
You need to be
Take
honest.
over Mars and make it be a habitable place for people to live. So when you're looking at power sets, Storm is the power set. When you're looking at leadership, Storm has consistently been the leader. Even with Cyclops, she always played second in command or would take over for him. Cyclops would leave and go do X Factor or go have babies with
Jared.
clones. Storm always stayed and was the leader at all times.
Jared, you are not being honest with everybody here about why you are a big fan of Storm, and I'm going to call you out on it right now because I know you, okay? I've known Jared for a long time. The one thing people need to know is that Jared is a massive Tina Turner fan. He loves Storm because she resembles Tina Turner. That is the reason that he loves her. Somewhere in his own little headcanon, he has a movie where Tina Turner has played Storm in the late 80s. And that is why he thinks Storm is the best X-Men. That's the only reason he thinks Storm is the best X-Men. He wants some powerful nonsense. No, it has nothing to do with her powers, her history, all her ability. She resembles Tina Turner, and Jared is a massive Tina Turner fan. That is why he is a Storm fan.
All right. Well, let me just pull a line from the most recent debate. I don't think he
hold
knows
on,
what
Jared's
he was
talking.
saying.
I can't hear him.
What he's saying. So that's what I got to say about that. He's just pulling stuff out. I think he didn't get a long enough nap. Tim is just meandering on, and he wasn't able to give any back. He was just able to throw to the side.
I didn't get a nap, Jared. I didn't get a nap. Okay.
Can Tim take a drug test? I want to know what drugs he was on before this debate.
Okay, so okay.
Advil.
Are we
Lots of
talking?
Advil.
Are we talking private dancer Tina Turner? Are we talking like River Deep, Mountain High? Proud Mary? Which era are we going?
He loves it all. He loves it all, Dan. Okay.
Right.
But
Go ahead.
It's so separate from Tina. I mean, from Storm.
They both develop unconvincing British accents. I think that goes in Tim's favor, but you know.
I mean, Cyclops, Jean, and Wolverine cannot give a long-winded speech like Storm can give. There's no way.
That's a good thing.
She makes hard speeches. That's what it boils down to.
Is a good thing.
She could do the Picard speech.
We can look at some more facts because Tim isn't giving any facts. He's giving conjecture and throwing it off to the Queen of Rock and Roll instead of the Queen of Marvel Comics, which is Storm. As the Notion forces descended upon the X-Men during Extinction Agenda, Storm locked the grounds hatch so the X-Men would not be defeated or captured, instead sacrificing herself to be taken. She's a sacrificial leader as well. She does what's best for the good of the group. She sees long term. Her greatest strength is as a character. Storm grows, sees her mistakes, and fixes them.
I appreciate your dedication, Jared. I really do. But it is just rooted. It is rooted in your brain. You cannot find fault with Storm. It's impossible.
Oh, yeah. No, she has lots of faults, but that doesn't make her not the best X-Men. That's how they be able to grow. Absolutely. People grow. That's how they become the best versions of themselves.
She was the second most lame character on the arcade game behind Dazzler. That's another thing. Okay. So the tornado of all things, the tornado. Yeah, they couldn't do lightning.
Barely did her punch out. It was like that. And what was Nightcrawler's mutant power? That was ridiculous.
All
Storm
right.
had a staff.
It's time to do some more tabulating. I I feel like I need to say we've all lost because everybody knows that the best X-Man of all is Jubilee. I mean, come on, people. We all know it's Jubilee. Everybody watching is listening to this the whole time. Said, Tim, you've got the knockout punch in your back pocket. Just throw Jubilee on him and go home. But you didn't do it. That's negative points again, Tim. Now
you're right. You're right. I should have called the teenage girl. I definitely should have called that.
See, you're gonna gain a bunch of points because you called him out on the Tina Turner fixation. But so is he, because you know why? Tina Turner is awesome, Tim. And Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is that movie that he watched. So, tabulating it all together, adding it up, this week's Nerd Champ, Jared is the Nerd Champ.
It was a valiant effort, but at the end, you just can't beat Jared with that Rolodex of information of Storm in his mind. It's just hard.
I can't get my receipts, bro. I had all my receipts with me.
Yeah. The continuity is too great.
It was a well fought battle, though. This was fun. This was good.
Yes, this was very intense, man. Very intense.
All right. In celebration, the victory lap, Jared. 30, put a cherry on it. Now.
Storm is the best member of the X-Men. She's been a leader and a member of the team, and she can succeed in both of those roles with power, without power. Storm is where it's at. She can be on the Fantastic Four and the Avengers and still be an X-Man. She's Marvel's leading lady. When you think of Marvel and you think of ladies, it's not Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, or Jean. It's Storm that you think of. That's why she's part of the reason why she's the #1 X-Men character.
All right. And that has been Nerd Champs. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. If you think that Storm is not the best, if you think you don't like Jared's man bun, if you want to help him get out of the closet that he's been trapped in, just let us know in the comments. We will be on it. So, or the dark, dank basement, whichever. And let everybody know. Come find us on Nerd Champs. We will argue the important issues that you really care about.